June 9th, 2018. The day starts pretty early here on the mountain. The birds are chirping about 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, maybe about 5:30. Start their singing early though.
Wake me when it's actually light out.
Welcome back to Ray's A-Frame Adventure.
Ooh, episode 31.
You don't sound too chipper this morning.
The birds got me up too early. Where's my coffee?
You don't drink coffee.
Maybe I should start.
June 10th, back up the cabin. Beautiful morning. Warm out, but pleasant. And today we're going to install cabinets. So here they are in the boxes, but I noticed this here first. There's some instructions here. It says, open the first here. We know you really want to rip open these boxes to get your new cabinetry, but you probably should check out the goodies inside. Oh, thank you from CraftMade. Looks like there's some instructions here. That's good.
We probably need those.
All else fails, follow the instructions.
Yep.
And, oh, good. Our screws, our install stuff here. Invoice, and great. Let's get going. Okay, before I install my cabinet, which I have here in the box, I need to put some spacers on the floor because I'm going to run my wood flooring, which is a floating floor. It needs to have a little space underneath the cabinet. I'm not going to install the floor under the cabinet. It'll just come right up to the butt of the cabinet, but I want to raise the cabinets up just a little bit so that that edge of that wood floor can kind of go underneath there. So I've made sure my floor is level here, and then I measured up to the top of the cabinet where it should be, 34.5 here, and leveled everything out to make sure it was good. So I'm going to set the cabinet on these, and then we'll shim out wherever we need to on those blocks. Before I try to install the base cabinet here, I need to mark on the wall where the studs are, and you probably can't see, it's very light there, it's one. And I have a stud finder here, but of course the battery is dead.
Of course.
Anyway, so going back to the old-fashioned method of just kind of knocking until you hear a sound change right in here. Plus, I know going off the outlet that I've got a stud right here coming down to where the outlet box was attached. So it's going to be right here, and then from that point here you can kind of measure out basically about 16 inches on center, and you'll come to another stud. It's a little odd here because the angle wall, and I probably got some extra wood in here. Doing the same thing on this side. That'll give me an indication when I slide the cabinet up there. I'll pre-drill some holes in the back of the cabinet that line up with this and correspond with this. That way when the cabinet goes into the corner there, I'll be able to screw right into those studs. Before installation, we've got to remove the doors from the cabinets because we're going to be joining face frames together with some clamps and stuff. So these just are actually great hinges. They just pop out. There's a release button here. Squeeze it, and this just pops away from the door. And even this one over here, if you just squeeze this, it will release, and this door piece comes off. So it makes it nice and easy to remove the doors and get them out of the way first. Using the measurements off the wall to find out where the studs are, and measuring from where the edge of the cabinet will be back, I went ahead and marked those measurements on the cabinet here from the back where the support brace is and drilled through the back. That way I'll just be able to put my screws right through there, and I know that it'll line up and hit onto a stud. Alright, I got the first cabinet pretty much installed. I had to use some shims over here behind the cabinet to level up the front here, both sides, and plus I needed to space this out. I just have a little wood spacer in here, which was the same thickness as down here. I've got a little bit thickness difference here in that trim for the wood, and so I wanted to bring the cabinet out to the same level as that. So as you can see, let's see here, I can find my trusty dirty old level here, and yep, good. And then you have to do level both sides, this side and this side, to make sure that it is that is level.
You mean plumb, straight up and down, right?
Yes, and thanks to one of our subscribers for pointing that out.
Subscribers are awesome.
Pretty solid already. And yeah, and I've got a spacer on the floor too for my plywood again, or for my flooring to jack it up a little bit. And I'm going to leave that hang out, and the next cabinet will actually rest on that too, so it'll be the same height. I have to install the kitchen sink cabinet, but in order to do that, I've got some plumbing coming out of the wall here. So I just roughly marked the back of this where those holes would be. I just pushed the cabinet up there and just kind of made some marks there and then measured off it. And I'm going to take the hole saw here bit and just drill right through that easily. And I got another size here for the smaller size there. So we'll get started here.
Gotta
Hopefully
charge
my
the
drill bit
battery.
will last. I mean, my drill energy.
I wonder who that was.
Don't look at me.
And there it is. And there it is. I just want to say, usually it's better to drill from your finished size out. That way you don't have burrs. But that came out pretty clean. Plus, it was easier to mark instead of trying to measure everything just right. I could just push the cabinet up against the wall, and mark it from the back side rather than trying to measure everything exactly. So that worked out good. So I ordered a drawer unit for under the small dishwasher, which actually sits up on top of it. But it doesn't look like they sent me a base for it. Couldn't find it. So I'm building my own here, which will bring it up to the same height here as the toe pick area underneath the cabinet next to it. So I just used some scrap blocks, screwed them together, and then made a faceplate for the front of it. And that way I'll put the trim along that whole faceplate, the toe kick there, that'll go underneath. And they did send a long piece for that, but there was nothing under the dishwasher area. Okay, went to install the dishwasher and totally forgot that where my electrical was.
Oops.
And I built this knee wall later as an afterthought, that straight wall down, and I had left the wires curled up nice and neat, wrapped up inside the wall, and totally forgot to cut out for the drywall and bring them out. Actually, I've got the power here for the dishwasher and then one for the disposal. But I had to cut a hole in the wall here. I knew kind of where the wire was below this outlet, so I dug a hole in there and had to grab the wire out. And then realized I want to actually put the wire all the way over to the kitchen sink area, which moved a little bit, and put an outlet box inside of here to do the plug-in for the disposal and for the dishwasher. So I've got to cut an access hole here so I can feed the wire through there, back in behind there, and I'll cut an opening here and bring it out, and we'll put a box here on the bottom. And the other wires for the dishwasher, which is a small dishwasher, it's like half the height of a normal one. It'll feed through the side here, the cord, and then it'll come in and we'll be able to plug in there. So that'll work. Just a little bit of extra shuffling around here and then patching these drywall spots here, which are going to be behind the unit, the dishwasher unit, so you're not going to see them, but I'll patch them up nice and neat.
It's important to note I changed my kitchen design to accommodate larger appliances, which changed my electrical.
Okay, so this is how I patch drywall holes like this. Now in this case, I've got a little bit of wood here. I can put my piece up there and screw into the wood. But a lot of times it's just an opening and a hole with no support behind it. So what I like to do is just cut a piece of plywood. It could even be a piece of drywall, a little piece of plywood or something works good. Stick it up in the hole like that and just kind of adhere it to the back of the drywall, kind of hold it in place there. And here you can see I did this side here, just enough room to get my fingers behind there to pull it back and hold it up. And I just put a drywall screw to hold it. That way that gives you a backing when you set your piece in there. And I've got a little bit of adhesive on this now. And so when this goes in there like that, it's got something to sit against. And I'll put a screw there. And that way it's nice and tight and it's firm in there. It won't fall all out. And then we'll just tape and mud the outside and then that'll be all. Okay, so I put my mesh fiber tape here over the seams and then just want to put a heavy coat of, let's see where I can find this here. There's one of them, but it's the Fast and Final. It's like a lightweight spackling. It's super light. It goes on almost dry in a way. And just trowel it on there a little bit with a putty knife. And I left it rough and thick because I don't want to have to do multiple coats like I would normally with drywall. It's going to be back here where no one's ever going to see it. So I put it on rough and thick, and then I'm going to sand it smooth, maybe put a thin coat before I paint it, and that'll work out great.
Good morning, June 11th, and I'm having breakfast at the moment, which consists of banana and casima. Protein shake there.
Don't talk with your mouth full.
This morning we're gonna, jeez, I can see my face now, I realize I haven't got my hair, done nothing with it. Anyway, this morning, yeah, good morning. Let's try this again, good morning. Today we're gonna be putting in the upper cabinets, and we'll go inside in a minute and just get started.
So it's time to install the upper cabinets, and normally you do upper cabinets first, but on this side I have my lower cabinets and there's nothing going above those cabinets there because of the angle of the wall. But I'm going to start on this side here, and I've got to put an upper cabinet. Couple of issues after I've got the cabinets laid out, and they changed because the size of my refrigerator got larger. So this cabinet had to be smaller over against the wall, and therefore I ended up with an outlet here that really is going to be behind the range now. So I'll have to cover that up with the plate. And isn't a problem because it's powering this outlet, so we've still got an outlet here. So we'll just make the connections covered up with a plate. At any rate, I've got my mark here for the upper cabinet, which is going to go, and I've got to clear this beam here. And I knew it was going to be close, And well, when you know it, by the time I added the flooring in at the bottom and add that extra inch or 3/4, I'm about an inch off as to where I want to go for my height. Normally cabin set at 54, I'm gonna have to come down to 53. And I did find my instructions here, which is helpful since I couldn't locate them the other day. So if all else fails, read the instructions.
Do you know what the letters of the word Bible stand for?
You mean B-I-B-L-E?
Basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Yeah, it is that. Alright, so I should also mention that you need to make sure the cabinets are level. So what I did is after I got the base cabinet installed, I leveled off from the edge of there and up the wall with the level this way, and then went up my 17 inches. Here's my 18-inch line, which would be normally correct, but I had to come down 17 again to miss the beam there. But came down there and then put another level line across the 12 inches out. And that's what we're going to be installing, is this long, tall cabinet, 36 inches here first. It's times like these that I wish I would have remembered to get a battery for my stud finder, because I had to kind of bang around here, and I used the finish nail just to kind of put some holes in to see if I could hit some studs. And so it took a little bit of, took a few holes to,
All right,
to
quit that.
figure out where the studs were.
It's not me.
I knew there was a lot of wood up here, and it was just odd it wasn't 16 inches on center because of this log. And
Yeah, it must be a
stuff.
woodpecker.
But I did locate a few of them here that I have marked.
Right, and I suppose his name's Woody.
Fill the rest of these holes. Even though it's behind the cabinet, no one's ever going to see it. I don't know what's there. You won't know it's there. I don't know. You know what? Let me get this done. Now, normally when you install an upper cabinet like this, you put a ledger board, just kind of a block board going underneath it at level to hold the cabinet in place to set up on while you're installing it, especially if you don't have a helper. But here I didn't want to fill in any more holes when I pulled out that ledger board. So I just got a stool and just put some wood shims in here to get it to the right height. And that worked out fine. And then I've got a couple screws. I need to put one more up at the top there. And I really only had one stud behind there. I've got another stud on that other side I'm going to do in that top corner. But what I wanted to mention was I had to lower down another 1/4 of an inch just to miss...
Looking for the word bolts?
Just to miss that bolt going through the log there, which it does, and that'll work great. All right, time to install the dishwasher. And my dishwasher is a small dishwasher. It actually doesn't go all the way to the floor like most dishwashers, but that allowed me to have a cabinet underneath, a cabinet drawer, and because I have so little cabinet space in the kitchen, that's going to work out great. So I have just installed these clips here in the side, just kind of a pop in these clips, and then the unit will just slide back in there, and then I'll attach those clips, screw it to the face of the cabinetry. And in the back, we've got a little space still for the hoses and the cord, which will now go through the hole that I put in the sink base yesterday. And then that'll plug in when we get the outlet installed. It'll all come through in the plumbing. It'll, of course, go in plumbing, and then, yeah, it'll plug right into that outlet. All right, there it is, following the instructions. Basically just had 4 screws going in the corner to those brackets that I inserted. It came out pretty good. So yeah, definitely follow the manufacturer's instructions. And usually things will work out well.
Right.
Usually. So I've got the center cabinet hung, and I've had to leave a space between this side and then the other side over here for enough for the range to fit underneath it, and the microwave is going to go under here. They didn't really send me a piece for this that's the right size, so I'm having to rip down. They did send a couple extra pieces here, and I'm guessing that's what they're for because nothing else seems to match. So what I had to do is rip them down, which I did to the correct 1.5 inch thickness, and then I've just got them clamped together here, and I'm going to take my, yeah, no, that's the saw. Yeah, circuit saw that come down with. And that is the...
Wait for it.
Whatever that thing is, you know what I mean? The sanderish kind of, yeah, belt sand.
Bingo!
Anyway, I'm going to belt sand the edges here and get them nice and straight. Well, here we go once again. The outlet for the microwave is not inside the cabinet above the microwave, which we thought was fine because I figured, well, I'll put it in this cabinet and I'll just run it through and put it inside this cabinet. But this support board here, I should say this divider board here, which is going to go along the side of the refrigerator and the stove, it falls kind of right in the middle of the outlet there, which is going to be a pain in the neck. So I'm going to pull it out of the cabinet, cut a new hole, and move the box over behind this, and then of course patch the hole. Didn't we just leave this train?